We'll have a call to order for Board of Trustees meeting number 2024-02 dated Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 at 9 a.m. Mayor Vorderer is absent. Roll call for Trustee Olenichek.
Here?
Trustee Mallow.
Here.
Trustee Stalker. Oh, hold on. Trustee Desmond.
Yep.
Trustee Sack.
Here.
Trustee Pembroke.
Here.
Can I have a motion to allow Trustee Stalker to participate by phone
So moved.
Second.
due to a work obligation? Trustee Olenichek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to appoint Trustee Olenichek as Mayor Pro Tem?
So moved. Second.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
yes,
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes. I feel safe with all you guys back there. All right, can we stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Chief Vittorio, we have a life-saving award presentation for Officer Daniel Harrison.
All right, thank you. Just getting over the flu, so I don't have much of my best. On September 30th, Oaklawn units were dispatched to assist the Oaklawn Fire Department at 9213 South Mead. While en route to the location, Oaklawn units were advised that a 1-year-old baby was convulsing and possibly having a seizure. In addition, responding officers were informed by Oaklawn Dispatch that several people could be heard screaming in the background and the scene sounded chaotic. Officer Daniel Harrison was first on scene and was immediately approached by a family member of the baby at the door. The man was holding a baby and surrounded by several other family members that were visibly upset and yelling. Officer Harrison quickly asked the man if the baby was choking on anything, and the man informed Officer Harrison that the baby was not choking. Officer Harrison then began to assess the baby and confirmed the baby was not breathing and the baby's skin color was turning blue. Officer Harrison, quickly recognizing that the baby was in distress and was not receiving enough oxygen, told the man to place the baby on the ground. At that point, Officer Harrison immediately began to perform CPR on the baby. While performing CPR, he observed the baby beginning to breathe on her own. At that point, Officer Harrison stopped performing CPR on the baby. Officer Harrison, who was now joined by Officer Parmigiani, monitored the baby's breathing, and once it appeared that the baby was breathing on her own, Officer Parmigiani picked up the baby from the ground. Officer Parmigiani then walked the baby to the Oaklawn ambulance and handed the baby over to the paramedics. Shortly thereafter, the baby was transported to Advocate Christ for medical treatment. Prior to the ambulance departing the scene, officers were informed the baby was breathing on her own and she was in stable condition. Officer Daniel Harrison's prompt arrival to the residence, as well as his calm, quick, and decisive action during a chaotic scene, resulted in the life of a baby being saved. The professionalism displayed by Officer Harrison in providing emergency medical care and his ability to rely on his training saved a 1-year-old baby's life. Officer Daniel Harrison is most deserving of an Oaklawn Police Department Life-Saving Award.
Thank you.
Well, while they're taking pictures, I just want, again, to thank our police department. There's a prime example of the difficult duties that our police officers have, not just with the daily duties, but when they're called to action and the life-saving training that they've done. A 1-year-old baby was saved because of the training that our police officers go through and their dedication. And I will tell you that the senior leadership of our police department should be very proud of what they continue to build. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job. All right, do we have any public comments?
No.
All right, do we have any conflict of interest to disclose? Nope. All right, approval of regular meeting minutes 2024-01 dated January 9th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker. Yes. Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Is there any new business by Village Trustees, District 1, Tim Desmond?
Thank you, Mayor Temp. I have no new business, only for people to stay safe in this unpredictable weather. Thank you.
Trustee Mallow?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Couple things. First, my condolences go to the Tinley Park Village dealing with their tragedy this week. It just brings to the forefront the mental health that our officers have every single day. Their officers are dealing with this week. It's such a tragedy, and you don't really realize until those things like that happen. This case here with our officer, Daniel Harrison, obviously brought a good conclusion to it, but, you know, those always aren't the cases. So, you know, just bringing to the forefront the mental health of our first responders is very important. Secondly, there's, with the bands that are out there, if anybody has a band, our online portal is taking those applications for the summer Fall Fest, for the Sunday concerts, and for the July 4th celebration parade, which will be held on June 29th this year. So if are there any bands out there, reach out online. We do not have paper this year, so online you can find that application. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Pembroke.
No new business.
Trustee Stalker.
No new business, thank you.
All right, and Trustee Sack.
Just a quick shout out to Public Works. I know at one point this weekend, I think there were 20 broken water mains in a 3-day period. Something like that. I was talking to one of the crew leads, Jeff Phillip, and then you get hit with the snow and the ice, and you know, it's a thankless job this time of year. So I think we should thank them, but just want to mention them and call out Public Works for the great work they continue to. That includes my report.
Thank you. Village Manager's report.
Nothing this morning.
All right, on to item number 10, ordinance number 23-02-04. A second amending an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issue of regional water system revenue bonds, IEPA Third Lien Series, in one or more series of the Village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, for the purpose of constructing improvements to the existing regional system of said village, incorporating a certain previously adapting ordinance and other documents prescribing all the details of said bonds and providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of said system of said village. Village Manager brought this up. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
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 Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Okay, item number 11, ordinance 23-02-05. A second amending an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of regional water system revenue bonds of the Village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, for system improvements, for refunding purposes, or both, and providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of the system of said village. This is brought up by the village manager. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Item number 12, consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees, village manager, or village committees, and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item A, request the Board of Trustees approval of Zoning and Planning Commission's recommendation for variation to allow exposed concrete to be used on exterior walls to allow frame construction on exterior walls and to increase the maximum driveway width to 28 foot and 30 foot at 4630 West 95th Street, Berman Auto Petitioner. Item B, ordinance number 23-02-06, an ordinance granting variation for construction material requirements and maximum driveway width requirements for their property located in C2 General Service Commercial District at 4630 West 95th Street. Torch Architecture on behalf of Berman Auto Petitioner. C, ordinance 23-02-07, an ordinance amending section 1-9-10G of the Oak Lawn Village Code declaring a conflict with Cook County paid leave ordinance, brought up by village manager. Item D, resolution number 24-02-04, resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving an agreement with Flock Group Incorporated for license plate readers and related services, brought by the village manager. Item E, resolution 24-02-05, a resolution authorizing the engagement of Baker Tilly to conduct an audit of the Village of Oak Lawn's financial statements and relate notes for the year of 2023, recommended by village manager. And item F, resolution 24-02-06, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of a temporary and permanent easement agreement with the Board of Education of Orland School District number 135 as part of the Regional Water System Improvement Project. And that's for Liberty Elementary School, Orland Park, Illinois, and that was recommended by the village manager. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes. All right. Item 13, village clerk's report.
We have disbursement resolution number 2024-02D dated January 23rd, 2024, in the amount of $4,511,977.10.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes. All right. Then we have the village president's report. I just want to touch base on something that Trustee Sock talked about, the water main breaks. There are over 20 so far in the village. Talking with our Public Works Director, Bill Meyer, this morning, he said that we're at the point now where we're keeping our head above water, literally, and they're keeping up with the workflow that's coming. But as any resident knows, when we go from the extreme warm temperatures to the extreme cold temperatures and back down to extreme warm, we will have these types of things happen. And I will tell you from personal experience, because the water main down the street from my house did go out on early Friday morning, was that I called you? So I will tell you that the village crews allowed everyone to make sure that they got their morning shower in before they started to go to work on it, and they did a very good job there. But that was one of like 7 in that area. And I got to tell you, I was out and I saw some of the Public Works guys on Saturday working on a water main break off of 91st in Menard. And I got to tell you, those guys, it was extremely cold out there, and working diligent, working safe, and nothing but compliments from residents. I know that, Tom, you shared some emails about how nice and how thorough the staff was in letting residents know what was going on and getting their problems taken care of. So we always, appreciate our public works, but in that type of weather, when it's 20 degrees below zero and they're dealing with water and having to move ground, I have a bigger appreciation to them for that. But then also knowing the great job that the Public Works crew did with handling the various weathers that have come in, up to and including this morning with the amount of ice that we've had. So let your team know that we do appreciate what they continue to do to make the village a great village. On another great note, our village manager reported to us over the weekend that the Village of Oak Lawn received our second in a row bond,
No, first in 12 years.
I'm sorry, first in 12-year bond update. Thanks for your correction. But bond upgrading, and Tom, could you explain the importance to the residents of what that means for the village?
Sure. And thank you for pointing that out. It is something that we should all be collectively proud of. For as long as I've been involved in the village, going back to 2005, the rating agencies, and I probably participated in 3 or 4 calls with the various rating agencies, S&Ps and Poor's, who rate our bonds so that the public, when we go to borrow money, if we have a positive or a good rating, we pay lower interest rates. It's as simple as that. And forever, we would make our case that despite the obvious and glaring problem of pension liabilities, which affects almost everybody, universal problem across the country, we would demonstrate that we had good reserves. We had the ability to borrow money if we needed to. We had a line of credit for $5 million that I don't think we ever borrowed on, but it was there to demonstrate that we are not in duress, and if we do run into a problem, not only can we borrow quickly from a line of credit, but we're a home rule community, so that we are unique in the respect that we can pass an increase in our home rule tax, and within, if Adam were here, Jerry, within a couple of months, maybe 6 months, we can collect that money. Despite all of those attempts to convince the rating agencies that, we were strong relative to the market, we would always get, neutral ratings, and then in the last several years, a couple of downgrades, and almost universally due to pension obligations. They would concede all of the positives, they would recognize, or at least tell us that those are good things, and then there'd be the inevitable but. Well, in our last call, and this credit largely goes out to our finance department, our management team, who, as I explained in a message to the board, when I was appointed village manager, I couldn't sit there and say, new person now, because I'd been involved for how many years prior to that, in many cases, the head of the finance committee. But, there's a difference between the board level and the management level, and our managers took it to heart when I said to each of them, several of them new to their positions, treat these budgets like you would your household budget, if you could. Do not assume that what you spent last year is necessary for this year. Do not assume if you're taking over a department from somebody else that you have to run that department the same way they did. And almost to a manager, they did that, which immediately yielded savings. Coming out of COVID, of course, we had some money. We did some bond refinancings and made some other changes to operations that finally, after long last 12 years, the rating agencies not only increased our bond rating, but also our outlook. I didn't include that in the message to the board. We went from neutral to positive on the outlook, and from BBB negative to BBB on the bond rating. To be frank, as an investment advisor, which I do in my other, will it really amount to significant savings and borrowings? Well, we probably aren't going to see that because we borrowed most of the money we needed to borrow in the last 5-7 years, and barring a new project that we're going to do, it's not like they refinance your debt and pay you lower rates, but it is a good thing moving forward, and it's something I think we should all be proud of.
Well, what I like about it is it's the true team effort, because you mentioned the management staff, but each and every one of the bargaining groups and work groups was very reasonable on their recent contract, which really made it easier for you to make some of the decisions you need to do. And I will tell you that this board, for the last at least 5 to 7 years, has increased the amount of funding for our pension liabilities, and that I know makes a difference. Each incremental year that we continue to go up and support that based off of what staff was telling us, it also helps out too. So it is truly a team effort by everyone here in the Village of Oak Lawn, and we did not raise property taxes for the residents of the Village of Oak Lawn. So kudos to you, your team, the leadership, and to everyone that works at the Village of Oak Lawn.
If I could, Mayor Pro Tem, that is absolutely correct, and I was remiss in not saying that. When I referenced the management team, of course, I spoke of or meant to speak of all of the people who work underneath them, including bargaining units who were exactly what you said, more than fair. For the first time in however many years, we settled all contracts without arbitration. A couple of mediations that went very smoothly, and everybody was, to their collective credit, understanding of the situation. It is, one person did ask, because we did share this with the community, because I think it is important that the community know. Oftentimes, we share safety alerts and, you know, things that are not necessarily positive, other than the fact that our police are doing a great job. They're responding to horrific crimes and other problems. And one person sort of asked, you know, how is this relevant to me? And not to repeat it, but I said, one of the things developers look at when they look at communities in which they want to invest, develop, open a business is the safety of the community, and I think we could check that box as well as anybody, and the strength of the underlying government, the financial strength. Is it a distressed government? Are we going to see, and distressed governments raise taxes. So trustee, you said it best. The fact that we were able to do all this and not raise property taxes 2 years in a row, and again, we beat this to death because it is important. We are all taxpayers up here for the last 17 years. We are basically flat on property taxes. I think raised them twice, only once more than 3 or 4%, and the other times either flat or reduced property taxes. I mean, I don't think we say that enough, and as a taxpayer myself, I think that to me should be something that everybody is aware of and appreciative, because nobody likes to pay property taxes, and it seems like everybody else in the world raises them every year, regardless of whether they need the money or not, so.
Well, thank you. That concludes my report. Can I get a vote
moved.
for adjournment?
So move.
Second.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker. Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Cock.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great day.